Hey everyone. So I'm live right now on Facebook, which is basically my page in my community with a crypto news media group, as well as I'm live on YouTube as well. So today I wanted to discuss the very basic 101 topic with you, which is what is cryptocurrency and why you should care. Uh, those who are in my community, they already know because they are there with me since 2021. So it wouldn't be a new topic for them, but it is new topic for those who are not actually involved in crypto. So if you have your questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. We are live. I would be more than happy to respond to you. And okay, there's a salam. Walaikum assalam. It's from Facebook. And if you have any comments that I miss, unless you make it on your, even if you do it on my page, I will still do that. And Walaikum assalam. And I'll still get back to you. Okay. I would be doing these sessions regularly. I will be going live and teaching you about crypto. So I'll take you from basic up to the level of intermediate. We wouldn't go to advanced. That's too much for right now. So today's topic is having Sari at Lahore. Yeah. uh, Great to see you. Great to see you. He's from YouTube. Abdurrahman. Yeah. Okay. So first part of the topic is what is cryptocurrency, and second part is why you should care, right? So what is crypto? I don't like to call it currency. I don't think it is a currency. The only currency in crypto is Bitcoin. And if we talk about how crypto started and why it was called currency, is all because of Satoshi Nakamoto, a person that we don't know. It can be one person, it can be a group. It's always stuff like this that people don't know. It's like it's the same with Socrates. They say that Socrates was not alone with that kind of information. He couldn't be one single person. Same goes to what do you call Shakespeare. They say Shakespeare was not alone. So with Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know if he's one person or a team. But whoever it is, it was created when the financial market collapsed and the stock markets collapsed. And same happened with the real estate in 2008, 2009. This was a reaction to what had happened because a lot of people lost money to the crash. And Satoshi Nakamoto, they decided, or he decided, or she decided to come up with something that is not dollar, and it could be something that would substitute and maybe stop the effects of it. So the two basic problems with currency is inflation and the control. So currency is not in your control because the government is controlling it. Even though it's a public property, it should be in our control, but that's not the case scenario. And the second thing is inflation, which means that people can print as much as they want. Not people, but of course the government. In case of US, it's the Federal Reserve. And of course there are processes involved in it, like you have to have war to print a lot of it. Saying that we are getting into war, we need new money, so you would print $2 trillion in 20 years, Afghanistan, Iraq war. But if you are talking about other reasons to have and print more money, COVID is a good example. They, I think, printed $3 trillion or more in COVID in 2 years. So COVID seemed more of a good business compared to war, which makes me believe that we will have more pandemics because it's easier to print money that way. But and that is me, it's my personal opinion. Anyway, going back to Bitcoin has a limited supply, so you cannot print more Bitcoin, and that was the whole point of creating it. And that's how Bitcoin was created. It's a store of value, and of course there's nothing behind it. But same is the case scenario with all currencies out there. Satoshi thought that if it is all about trust and having faith in something, like same applies to gold. I mean, what is gold? Gold is just metal. It doesn't heal you. It's not a cure for cancer. It doesn't increase your life. It's just a metal that looks yellow in color and has limited supply. And we all decided to say that, this is valuable. And that's how now it's a store of value. Why? Because of all of us. We all said this is valuable. So it became valuable. Same is the case with Bitcoin. majority of people agreed to call it valuable, and that's why now it's hundreds of billions of dollars market just alone for Bitcoin. And if you look at overall crypto market, it's around 1.2 trillion dollars, which is really, really big. And the reason you should care about it is for the second part of it. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin, and I'm not here to preach about Bitcoin because my personal interest is in altcoins. And the reason for it is that crypto is made up of two parts. One is Bitcoin, which is the currency part, so you can call it the Forex part. And the second part is altcoins, which is your stock market. Not every, but majority of good altcoins like Ethereum, Solana, and all like Cardano, all these projects, they have their revenue model. They're not relying on people investing money in it. Like look at Google. Okay, Google's shares can go up and down. Google doesn't care. The reason is that people who lose money in the shares are the ones who are buying and selling the shares. Google has its own revenue model. Okay, Google is making money from running ads, not sorry, running ads by showing ads on websites of people, showing ads here on YouTube. And the ads that you see on YouTube, they are generating revenue for Google. So Google has its own source of income. So it has nothing to do with the shares. So the shares can go all the way down. Google will still generate hundreds of billions of dollars on quarterly basis for their company. Same is the case with altcoins. If you look at BNB, Binance, it's an exchange. It's generating billions of dollars annually. It doesn't care about the price of BNB. So BNB can go to $30. Binance will still be making as much money as they were making before. Same is the case with KuCoin, which is another exchange. Same is the case with Ethereum, which is generating revenue through other methods. So it's basically an exact copy of what do you call it? An exact copy of stock exchange. So when you are dealing with altcoins, look at it as a stock. When you're looking at Bitcoin, look at it as a forex. Right now, I think that's how the cryptocurrency is explained, and I like to call it crypto because, like I said, apart from Bitcoin, there is nothing else which you can call currency. Yes, there are some bad projects in it, like you have Dodge, you have Shiba. There are bad projects out there to destroy the name of crypto overall. But if you know what you're doing and if you have your fundamentals clear, you would understand how it is. And this is the same with stock market as well. I mean, it's not just crypto to begin with. If you go to stock market, there are shares which are called penny stocks. If you research about penny stocks, it's the same case as crypto. They're extremely volatile. It would be just two trucks company or one small shop somewhere in US, and you would see that people would be pumping it, and it would be like 10, 20, 50 million dollars in net worth in terms of shares. But in reality, it's just one shop dealing with CBD or maybe marijuana, or I don't know what they can be selling anything, and it would be overvalued. That's how penny stocks are. It's like the scam part of the stock market. Stock market is good when you're looking at Apple, Facebook, Samsung, stuff like that. But if you get into penny stock, it is as bad as bad projects here in crypto. So when you come to crypto and you're looking at altcoins and you want to be safe somewhere, that is the place. That place basically is Binance. Binance always tries to make sure that they list projects that are safe and follow the guidelines that they have in place. Binance wouldn't list projects that would do something bad. Of course, we have a case scenario of Luna that happened, but it was one project that happened. And again, going back to stocks examples, we saw what happened with the stock of that Indian company. I wouldn't take names. Top richest guy, and the company was labeled as a scam. I didn't look into it if it was a scam or not, but you saw how it plummeted. So you can do everything. Still, a company stock can go wrong. Things can go wrong. Same is the case scenario with crypto as well. Binance and me and other people, whoever is involved in it, we vet projects. but still things can go wrong. It's just how financial markets are or investment markets are. So that's the part of what is crypto. The second part is why you should care. The reason for it is very clear. It's out of the innovation phase, and right now it is in the adaptation phase. Innovation phase means it's the phase where people who join crypto, they are usually the innovators. They have, this faith in the technology, and they say that, this is the future. It's going to work out. And those were the days when Bitcoin was for $1,000, $200, $2,000. Those were the early days when it was still in very, very early stages of adoption. And the people who were getting into it, they were called innovators. That was the time when I bought Ethereum for $30, and I was collecting Ethereum at that time. Like I said, I never went for Bitcoin. But now, if you look at it, it's more of a mature market. The clarity in terms of market is very, very straightforward. All those who are calling it scam, whether it was Bill Gates or some other popular people, and they were saying it's going to go to zero. That thing is not happening, and it didn't happen in 2020 when it went down up to 3,000 from the high of 2017, which was 21,000 or so. People thought that it's over, but we saw that it rallied from $3,000 to $69,000 just in 1 year. So it is very straightforward and clear that it is a multi-trillion-dollar market. It's not going to go anywhere, and this is why you should care. Why? Because this is the phase of early adoption, and if you are someone who is trying to invest their extra funds and want to make more than what their banks are paying them, then I think crypto is that safe haven for you. Of course, I'll be teaching about security measure and everything, how to make sure that you keep your portfolio safe, you don't get hacked and all that, because you are your own bank, as they say. But at the same time, it's great in terms of return, like because I'm going to educate you how to buy low and sell high. And this is how you're going to profit from it. And it would not be just 3, 4% or 5%. I don't know about 5%, but here in Canada, the return that banks pay you annually is around 4%. So in crypto, you can do way, way, way more, even in the worst markets. You can do annually way more than 4%. I'm not going to give you any percentages. I'm not a moon boy. I'm not going to scream to the moon here. But what I'm going to teach you on how to make money outside of crypto, and how to invest, and how to grow your wealth. If you're looking into options on how to increase your portfolio and you want to retire early, I think crypto is an easier option, less complicated, and yeah, more beneficial in terms of making profits. Easily accessible in terms of buying. It's the most easiest thing to buy if you are trying to buy stocks in US market and you are not living in US. I would say just go and try, and you will see how much problems you will face. Same applies to buying properties. You cannot buy property with smaller amount of funds, right? Same thing is the case scenario with Forex. Forex, you need to use leverage, crazy leverages to make any meaningful profit. And you are dealing with banks and institutions there who are the whales and sharks of that market. It's really hard to profit there. But with crypto, I think till 2030, you still have time. We are left with 7 years max, I think, before it saturates. And the opportunity to make money out of it, it's going to pretty much go away, because things like this, it happens once in a decade, of course. Every 15, 20 years, there's something new that comes along. Like we are right now in the era of artificial intelligence. It's the new famous thing, but not everyone can make money out of AI, because we are not programmers. We don't understand how to completely utilize this opportunity. But with crypto, it's way simple. You go, you buy low, you sell high, It's as simple as that. And this is the whole point of doing this and starting this thing. And I'll be covering from basic up to the level of intermediate, and I will be showing you everything how it is done. I'm doing it from a very long period of time. If you are in my Facebook group of, it's a free group. It's called Crypto News Media. You can see the logo there actually. Then you would know we're doing it from a good amount of time. But if you're seeing it on my Facebook page or you are on YouTube, then that's a different story, because I've never shared that part of my life with you guys. Anyway, I'll see if there are any comments that needs to be responded. Video chat, delete. I would not delete this. I'll keep this. It will be uploaded. So if you miss the live, you can always come back and watch it, and I will try to respond to your comments. Don't worry about that. Hello, Shaji from Solar Boy. Okay, I'm interested in solar industry as well. So that's a comment from there. Yeah, another trend is solar. It's going to last till 2032. If you know how to sell, there's good money to make there. But of course, that's a separate topic from crypto. Bitcoin and what will be the future of altcoins? Altcoins are going to grow as well as unlike Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. How big is Ethereum? And you can understand how each of these projects are going to grow. XRP is another living example of it. I personally believe that if banks are going to adapt something as a crypto, they wouldn't accept other projects. They would go for projects like XRP, because they would like to look cool by saying that we have adopted crypto, but at the same time they wouldn't like to adopt projects that are like Ethereum or other projects. They would go for something like XRP by Ripple. Okay, if you guys have any other comments, I can wait one more minute, and then we would be done for our today's live. And I would try to do lives every now and then. I don't know if I can do this every day, but I will be doing it every time. Going live is easier for me. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I don't need to edit the video and make it fancy. Is going to make it hard for me, and then I will not be able to do it on continuous basis. So I'll always be going live and doing it. Okay. So please explain how much and when and why of printing money by a government. Okay, this is something you need to understand that it's a very, very vast topic, and people can label it as conspiracy as well, because it's not something that people want to hear. So I'm going to share my opinion on it, and it's personally just my opinion, how I see world and how things work, and it's a very wide topic. Okay, let me take you back to the days of slavery. Okay, so back in the days, okay, you need to understand who is the controller of the world, and that's United States, right? So we will use only the example of USA. So when you think about USA and the days of slavery, they used to bring slaves from Africa. It was not a good process. And why were they bringing slaves? It was very simple, straightforward. For countries to make progress, you need population. It's very, very straightforward. You need two things, okay? One is buying power, okay, which is called per capita. It's GDP per capita. Look into it. I don't want to make this video longer than it should be. And second thing is population. If you have these two things, you are a very strong country, and that is what United States is. So back in the days, they wanted more and more people. USA was not as big as it should have been, and they were bringing people. So immigration is always a very big business. So in those days, they used to put them in ships in form of layers, like as if they are bricks. And it was a process that those who would die, they were considered to be weak, so you wouldn't need those slaves anyway. And those who would survive, they would be considered to be strong enough for you to do the work. And in those days, that was a time of industrialization. Like right now, we are living in the era of technology and bots and AI. That was a time of industrialization. Before that, it was a time of feudalism, which was basically related to farming and all that, having land and growing crops, that kind of stuff. And then it became the time of, making a lot of products. I mean, what China is doing right now, this is what US was doing. So they needed labor, and you need good quality labor. So that was the slavery thing. So later on, what happened is that they decided to improve on that system. So coming forward, if you look at the current wars of Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, it's a very very smooth process. Like I'm a living example of it, right? I'm a well educated. I have few degrees, masters, certifications. I'm a chartered accountant, CPA, all that shit, right? And I have 14 years of work experience. I have worked for United Nations for 8 years, 6 months, and my highest post was chief operations there, right? Chief operating officer. And I have all that experiences. So I'm a good slave, right? Quality slave. So all you need to do is basically destroy the country, and they don't even need to force you to come out of the country, right? You would run away from your country with your money. So they're bringing rich people and smart people, and still they're considered to be good people. So this is a very scary concept, and this is how it is. So now the immigration has changed, and that's how they were doing it with all these wars that you have seen. Go create insecurities in their countries, so they would leave their country and come to you. So that this is the system of modern day slavery. Sorry. Coming to the printing of money, printing money and the control over money is everything. A lot of people have misconception of Iraq war to be for oil, or going to Afghanistan for uranium, or going to other countries for other stuff. You need to understand that the whole point of um, like colonization, like what England used to do, they used to use leave their culture. Like if you look at India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and so many other countries that were colonized by the Britain, what do you see there? You see their books, their clothes, and their language. Everything is English. It's all inspired by the UK. And this is what you leave behind. Why? Because when you leave, your impact, your culture is going to be attached to you. And this is something that United States really improved. What they did is that they, instead of leaving, culture and leaving a complicated system behind, like what UK has. UK's biggest business is their education. And what they have done is basically the same thing they have done to their colonized countries. Everyone goes there for the education. If you look at a good quality education in poor countries, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, it's always related to O levels, A levels, which is what do you call it? It's it's British system of education. So they're making a lot of money. So USA improved that system, and what they did is that they introduced dollars. Okay, so I don't remember exactly the power when US dollar came to power. I think it's 1920. You need to check it. I made a full post on it on in group, Facebook group. You can check it there. So what they do is that they go, they attack, and they leave their currency there. Right now, if you look at countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, people there, they keep their savings in dollars because they don't trust their own currency anymore. So the more people you have holding to dollar, the more powerful it will become. Why? Because it is demand and supply. So, for example, um, it's one pizza and there are 10 people. What do you think? And they all are hungry, right? What do you think would be the case scenario of the demand and supply? The demand for the pizza would be really high. Why? Because there are too many people and it's just one pizza with 4 or 8 slices, right? Same is the case with dollars. There's so many people that need dollar and there is less dollar. So whenever they wanted to expand and wanted to print more dollars, they created war. And I said this sounds like a conspiracy and it's just my opinion, but this is how dollar has expanded. Afghanistan didn't have English. I'm from Afghanistan, so I can at least tell you my part of story. We didn't have English as a language there. It was not in our schooling. It is still not there, and we didn't have dollars there. But after US and all that war and everything that happened, US left, dollar is left behind, English is left behind, and the country is very much inspired by the American culture. So this is the whole point of printing a lot of money. But then there is a situation of overprinting, which is basically getting greedy. I mean, the people who benefit from it is always, the rich and the bankers. So when they overprint, that is what leads to inflation, which means there is a break between demand and supply. There is oversupply, and the demand is less, and that's why there is inflation. So in that kind of case scenario, there is a need for fixing that. And when that fixing doesn't happen, when they are not able to fix their inflation, what happens is that it leads to a collapse in financial system, in financial crisis start. And you can see the US history, they always have had financial crisis, 15, 20 years, with a gap of 15, 20 years. If you go to I think 90s, they had one collapse there. If you go to 2008, 2009, they had another one. Right now, we are sitting in another collapse, which is a banking collapse. So usually, financial crisis are of two forms. One is a smaller crisis, where you see a lot of inflation. People don't have jobs, which is right now happening. Look at the statistics; it's happening right now. Facebook, Google, everyone is firing people. I'm in jobs, so I know how the market is here in Canada as well. But it becomes major like 2008, 2009, when the biggest market of the world, which is land and properties, when that collapses. So usually the first signal is your banking collapses, bank starts collapsing, then the insurance is attached to it, they start collapsing. And then you look at the 401ks and other properties, commercial properties and everything, they start collapsing. And that when that starts happening, that is the time of your financial crisis. So right now, one part of the financial crisis has happened. I don't know how deep it will go, but if we see something happening to the property market at a very large scale, that means we are getting into financial crisis. And usually it takes 2 years to get fixed. I can explain how it get fixed, but I'm going to really stretch it and make it more complicated than it should be. I want to keep things simple. I don't want to talk about complicated subjects. Of course, you guys and girls can always ask me questions, and I'll be more than happy to it. But look at Afghanistan case scenario, and you would see how a collapse happens. Because when the country collapsed, the U.S. left, and these people, I don't want to name them, they came. A collapse happened, and then everything that was costing $2,000, for example, it started getting sold for $200. And that's how you balance it out. So it's basically the owner of that particular property. It can be a television, it can be a fridge, a treadmill, it can be anything. That person still needs money. And even though they know it is for $2,000, they will sell it for $200 because they need money. And that person ends up adjusting your inflation. That $1,800 of sacrifice is given by that person. And it is done by the overall population. And that's how a financial crisis takes a dip and it starts getting fixed. And it usually takes 2-3 years before it goes up from the bottom again. I hope I have explained it in as simple manner as possible. Money is a very complicated concept. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. And some people say it's sinful and all that. There is no authentic religious reference for it. My mentor's net worth was $900 million, a very strong Christian. And he always said and explained that from the angle of Bible as well. And I'm Muslim, so I can explain it from the Muslims' angle as well. I think people are misled about money, and people should understand that money is not the cause of all sins. It's the greed for money that is the cause of all sins, and it can be greed for anything that can lead to that. So you need to understand how the world operates if you want to live in this world. And I would try to educate you from the investing or trading angle of crypto. And of course, you always can ask me other questions related to life, and I would be more than happy to respond. Thank you, everyone. Very well explained. Thank you. And if there is still anything, let me know. Right now, it's 13% charge left. So I'll be ending this live session. It was really a pleasure talking to you guys, and we'll be catching up with each other on a regular basis. Okay, bye.